I know my current upload schedule is far from great at the moment, and that a few of you have been waiting for my Fallout 76 mystery unboxing video, but I've been a bit swamped with personal stuff recently, so please bear with me. I'll hopefully have an actual uploading schedule soon, but I'll speak more about that at the end. Regardless, QuakeCon of course came around, and it came with a healthy dosage of our Fallout 76 fix. Without further ado, let's get right into everything we learned from QuakeCon. The first and arguably most important thing we learned was the perk and character development systems, which we also briefly saw in the no-clip documentary, which of course will also be linked in the description below. With this new character development system, there's also come a few changes. One of these is an Instagram-esque Vault-Tec ID photo mode. Essentially, this is a player card that others will presumably see when you interact with them and whatnot. In this photo mode, you can even change the field of view, use filters, and even your character's expression in the photo. From what we know so far, this can also be used in-game to capture kills with tough foes, or even just a quick photo with other dwellers. Or hey, even if you kill another dweller, you can take a photo with their dead body and brag about it on social media. The overall character creation is now said to be better than before, having a lot of Fallout 4's likeness. Of course, with this being made basically from Fallout 4's core, this is to be expected. During the interview, they also mentioned that there isn't a lot of load screens in the game, which of course is a great sign. You'll know this if you've played any Bethesda game ever. However, the most important thing to take away from this is the fact that the images you take in-game now appear in these said load screens. These will of course be alongside featured images that have been made by Bethesda. Going back to character development, however, they also mentioned that you can change your character at any time, whether that's appearance, gender, pretty much everything. They want players to enjoy their characters and don't want people to be bound to one. So we've all been there where you're playing Skyrim or Fallout and you're playing a certain type of character. Halfway through you get bored, but you've invested a lot of time and even skills, or even just the general character you're playing. So if it's Skyrim, the race you're playing as, you're sort of locked into this. And most people, myself included, have a few saves going with a few different characters. And it does get confusing to keep track of, so I think what they're trying to do with this, especially with it being an online game where they need to retain attention to the actual game and keep players coming back for more, if they do something like this, players are going to want to come back. If they come back after a week of not playing and want to start pretty much from scratch, but with their character they've got, and with all the progress they've had so far, what they can now do is just completely change their character, down to appearance, gender, and with something I'll cover a little bit later on about the perk system, you can even change the entire way you play the game. After touching on that though, let's get into leveling up. When you level up, you pick a special attribute that you'd like to increase. These, instead of capping at 10, now cap at 15. So that's strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck, for those of you who are a little bit out of the loop with Fallout. But I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably pretty in tune with your Fallout knowledge. These also now behave differently. For example, if you've played Elder Scrolls Legends, which needs to come to Xbox as soon as possible, please Bethesda, if you're watching this, just put it straight on the store. I'll play it, loads of people will play it, please just bring it to the store. I can't keep loading up Steam just for that game. So whether you've played Elder Scrolls Legends or just pretty much any card game, for example, you'll know about the mana that cards cost to summon. As rounds go on, you get access to higher power cards that can end the game and set up big plays. The special points you now get act very similarly to this and allow you to invest in more cards, which are in fact now actually cards in this installment. You have your deck of cards, which adds certain benefits to your character. These perk cards can also be switched out at any time, as I touched on a little bit earlier. If you get bored of a certain playstyle, providing you have the cards to switch to, you can change your entire game with ease. Remaining from Fallout 4, you can add to these perks and increase their benefits by adding the same card to your deck and double your damage, your resistance, or whatever that card may boost. For example, one card may do plus 10% melee damage, but adding two of these to your deck means your buff now goes to plus 20% melee damage, or something similar at least. These cards have different costs, as I mentioned. The special cost of each card can range from 1 to 15. Going back to my Elder Scrolls Legends reference, the further you get into the game, the more cards that are available to you. But you do need to remember that this now caps at 15, so you could have 3 cards of a 5 value, or you could even have 15 1 value cards. So the choice is all yours. You could even of course have a mix of these as well. Alongside the many changes in the game surrounding your special attributes and perks, charisma is also one thing that works very differently now. Normally useful against NPCs in Bethesda's more traditional Fallout games, charisma will now be used to help you and your squad, offering fewer benefits for those wishing to be a lone wolf. A great way to get these new perk cards though is through card packs. Initially these are said to be unlocked every 2 levels, but then once you hit level 10, you will unlock them at every 5 levels. These packs contain 4 random cards. So far we've seen that there is gold cards, which have animated artwork, and then there is of course the standard blue cards. You also get a stick of gum in these card packs, which is a consumable item, and it comes alongside a bad joke. For those wondering though, this gum actually lowers your hunger for a short period of time, which of course goes back to earlier speculation of thirst and hunger now possibly being a thing. These packs may also include a perk card above your level, but this adds to the idea of provoking a change that players may not have yet considered, which, like I mentioned earlier, is something Bethesda really need to think about. You get these cards no matter what level you are. You don't get any more special points at level 50, but the cards remain and you can continue choosing from the hundreds available. These perk cards, alongside a lot of the other changes, definitely show that they want people to enjoy this game no matter what they do and no matter what they want to do in the game, even if that means it changing your entire playstyle at a moment's notice. The next big addition to the game is mutations. When you get exposed to radiation, you can now get mutations. They only mentioned one mutation during this presentation, and that was bird bone, where you suffer from a decrease in your strength but can jump significantly higher. This new feature could of course be very interesting depending on the type of mutations we can get. Another huge talking point was of course griefing, something a lot of fans have been worried about, and I've even mentioned in pretty much all of the videos I've made about this game so far. Bethesda have said they want players to experience an element of danger, but they want this without griefing. To engage with players in PvP, you can now shoot someone and you will do a small amount of damage. If the target then retaliates, however, when you engage, you then do full damage and battle commences. There's also of course a cap reward based on the level of your opponent if you're victorious. If you are killed though, you can even seek revenge, being offered double rewards for the successful elimination of your target. Or you can of course back down, which I'm probably going to do a bit of. If people do continuously engage you in combat if you ignore them, they then become wanted and will get no rewards for any kill during this time. These wanted players then become a red star on the map that everyone can see, with a bounty set on them, which now comes out of their own caps if they are killed. And if that wasn't enough, they can't see anyone on the map whilst in this state. With the locations on the map, they have confirmed that the locations are relative but not super detailed, and when you do sneak, your location disappears. Unless of course you've been a massive dick and have a bounty on you. Onto the circle of life now. When you die, you just drop the junk in your inventory and nothing else. You can, however, of course, store items in your stash, which cannot be looted by others and will always be safe. These stashes are dotted throughout the map, but can also be placed at your camp. After being wrecked by a level 50 player with a fat man, you can respawn anywhere that you have discovered. The entrance to the vault and the location closest to the spot where you died will always be free to respawn to, but the cost of other fast travels depends on the distance from the location where you died and the selected location itself. If you are worried about being killed the second you leave the vault, fear not, because all of this PvP goodness doesn't kick in until you're at level 5. When you do eventually tick over to level 5 though and get sick of being killed by the same asshat over and over again, you can now ignore and block players that won't be able to interact with you anymore. You can also even engage passive bullets as to not hurt other people when fighting creatures and starting a full-on civil war with your own fire team. The normal power curve against creatures is the same, but when you fight other players, it now normalises the difference, meaning the balance of the game is going to be something they do want to focus on. Bethesda have also confirmed that there will be voice chat for both groups of friends and even strangers. This will be proximity based, so you won't hear someone on the other side of the map, but of course you will hear those close to you. So if you're travelling with friends, you will hear them, and potentially anyone else that may be lurking around in the area. And again, with all of Bethesda's counter-griefing measures, you will be able to mute people. So they do seem to have explored and spoke about a lot of the griefing, so it definitely does seem to be something they are worried about. On to the final few points, however, we have VATS and music. VATS is now in real time, so it's not Fallout 3's complete freezing, it's not Fallout 4's slow motion, it is real time, and you now can't target body parts as that is a perk now. You now just aim for the whole body and have a percentage to hit. It links with your perception stat, and you get more accurate by investing in this. You won't benefit right away, but you will get better. They've said that this is for players not as good at the normal twitchy shooting. Finally, arguably one of the best points of Fallout, the music. The man, the myth, the legend, Einon Zur is of course back, and they have also confirmed that there is radio stations in Fallout 76. But, however, with all good things in life, there is a slight catch. Sometimes the radio stations in Fallout games are just lacking. Whether it's the limited adverts that you get tired of hearing, or there's just that one song from another Fallout title that's missing right when you want to hear it. Luckily, however, there is a Discord server for that, Waste Virginia Radio. Whether you want to post a hilarious GIF, or you just want to connect with other players, you can do that and pretty much everything in between too. There's also a constant radio station running with in-house immersive adverts for your favourite pre-war products and a fine-tuned music selection from the entire Fallout series. And there's even a few songs that aren't in the series, but they could well be a part of it. And, of course, yours truly has a few adverts over there. There will be more, and they do constantly update, so you guys will never get bored of the same stuff. There's also a YouTube channel which I'll link down below, so you can see all of the changes made to the radio station, but that will of course just be the adverts for now. So why not click the link in the description and listen to yesterday's music today. Anyway guys, that is it for this slightly long and slightly overdue video. I really do hope you enjoyed, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch it. Like I said, I know it's a little late compared to my previous Fallout 76 news videos, but I plan to be back in full force very soon and have a few awesome things in the pipeline. Like I said at the start though, I've been a bit swamped with things behind the scenes, but I really do want to get the ball rolling with this and really appreciate all of the support. Whether you've only watched one video, whether it's this one or another one, but if it was just one and it wasn't this one, then you wouldn't be hearing this. So I guess you may have seen more than one, or maybe just this one, but no matter how many videos of mine you've watched, thank you for watching them. I really do appreciate that. One of the main things I want to start doing soon is live streaming, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube. I'm still torn, but I'd love to hear what you guys want to see and where you'd prefer to watch this. This will more than likely begin without a concrete schedule of streaming, but as I get further into it, I'm sure there will be regular streams for you to hopefully enjoy. And even if you can't watch them, there will of course also be highlights or even full streams uploaded straight to the channel here for you to watch at your own leisure. Anyway, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the links in the description to keep up to date with everything I've got planned, and even the stuff I do when I'm not making these videos for you guys. And stay tuned to the channel for more content very soon. But like I said, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.